Hi, this is Ron Darling.
This is Skip Lockwood.
Hi, I'm Ron Swoboda of the 69 New York Mets, and you're listening to Mets Musings with Gary Mack.
Now it's time for some New York Mets baseball talk. Here's Gary Mack bringing you the latest news and analysis from Mets Nation and the world of baseball on another edition of Mets Musings.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another special edition of Mets Musings. Yeah, we're a little bit off from our usual recording day, but wanted to get a show in there, and just wanted to say that it's been a rough week and a half or so for the New York Mets. They went to Milwaukee in our last show. They got swept by the Brewers. Came home to play the Atlanta Braves, lost 2 out of 3 in those games, and Seattle came in and did not look good for our Metsies. They've been blowing leads and hasn't looked good, but after losing the opening game to Seattle, they rebounded on Saturday and Sunday. We'll talk a little bit about more of that in a second. And now we're on a 2-game winning streak. So maybe they can put it together. We shall see. But it has been a rough August for the Mets crew. They just have not played well since about mid-July. And it shows in the standings. They are now 5 games back in the Philadelphia Phillies for the Eastern Division. They're in the last wild card spot and only have a 1-game lead in that 1.5-game lead, something like that, and are just hanging on by their fingernails. So the Mets have got to do something to put it back together, but the news hasn't been all bad. There was a couple of big items that happened for the New York Mets. Pete Alonso broke Darryl Strawberry's Mets career home run record on Monday evening in a blowout against the Braves. The big blow came in the bottom of the third. It was Tuesday night, as Alonso crushed a 95-mile-per-hour first pitch fastball from Braves right-hander Spencer Strider, hit it 394 feet the other way into the bullpen. So Pete finally getting a little hot there and had quite a streak during the week, including he added another home run after that. So he is now the home run king of the New York Mets. So congratulations go out to Pete Alonso. The other big thing that happened was the call-up, finally, of Nolan McLean, who came in on Saturday and was magnificent. I mean, just pitched very well, got into trouble, but got out of it. Even at one point, he had Seattle had the bases loaded with 1 out, and a comeback, a shot came back right up the middle, and McLean, with his back to the catcher, backhanded the ball. It was quite a great play. If you haven't seen it, try to find it on YouTube or somewhere. It was a terrific play, and started a double play to get out of that inning. He was just terrific. He showed it a 6-pitch arsenal and had great breaking stuff. True to form, though, for him, he did give up a couple of walks that almost hurt him, but he pitched out of it, as I said, so it didn't hurt him. But he's got to work on that, hopefully, and but other than that, he was terrific, and it really sparked the Mets Then Sunday they went to play the Little League Classic in Williamsport against those same Mariners, and Mark Vientos, who's been out of the lineup a couple of days, homered and drove in 4 runs. Francisco Lindor and Francisco Alvarez reached base 3 times as they had 3 hits each, and the Mets won on Sunday night in that Little League Classic. Clay Holmes pitched around trouble again, but this was probably one of his best performances since June, I guess. And he went 5 innings of 1-run ball and really looked good for the Mets. So Clay Holmes coming around again, and now the Mets have an off day today and will travel to Washington to play the Nationals. So we'll see how that has gone. But this team is not played well. Nothing, to hide there. The offense has been better of late. The defense has been better of late. The pitching has been absolutely terrible, though, on this homestand. It ended up being a 3-3 homestand, so not awful, but, you want to win 4-2, 5-1 at home and go 500 on the road. But the Mets didn't do that, but they didn't. They went 3-3 on the homestand, which we'll take at this stage. But the bullpen has been just a mess. They've blown leads. The Mets have had some big leads. I mean, 6-run leads were blown in the last week. I think twice, or a 6-run and a 5-run lead. You can't keep doing that. And then late leads they got, blew it. Ryan Helsley has been awful since he got here. Just can't seem to get it together at all. He's having immense problems. Just the other day, Reed Garrett got hit. Gave up a 3-run homer when the Mets had just taken the lead. I mean, it's just stuff like that. And they can't continue to do that. They've got to get it together. Now, yesterday and the day before, the bullpens came through pretty good. And the other day was a close game. Gregory Soto has looked good out of the pen his last couple of outings. And but they have to do something. They have to put it together. And hopefully these last 2 games will give them a shot in the arm. The McLean game, definitely. Now, if he can go out and do this again. And I kind of think back to when DeGrom came up. Not that I'm saying he's going to be Jacob DeGrom. But if you go back and remember when DeGrom came up, he had a good game, his first game. And then I think he earned another spot and he got it and pitched well again. And then bam, that was it. He was in the rotation. And he got hit hard a couple of times, and it happens, but he stayed in the rotation. The rest is history. The same could be true with McLean. Let's give this kid a chance. He was poised. He looked like a seasoned veteran out there. Nothing seemed to bother him, and it was truly fun to watch. So let's hope Nolan McLean is going to help in that rotation, and maybe they got to take a look at Brandon Sproat. My guess is after September 1st, maybe Sproat, when they can enlarge the rosters, we might see Brandon Sproat. However, keep in mind that Syracuse is in the playoffs, so they will want to have somebody down there like him to be in the playoffs, because that's the tricky part about the minor leagues. You want to win, but their job is to get these guys ready for the big leagues. Okay, injury update. You know, it's everybody. I mean, I'm not going to go through the whole list again because it's so long, but let's just say Tyler McGill started a rehab assignment. He pitched 1 2/3 innings on August 12th for Binghamton, threw 41 pitches in that outing. He'll need several weeks to build up back to a starter's workload. He's not expected for another couple of weeks, I would think. So we won't see Tyler McGill for a while yet, but he will be another arm coming back to the rotation, or at least to the team, or to Syracuse even. Who knows? Francisco Alvarez got injured last night. Had got an apparent thumb injury. We don't know what exactly it was. Head slide into second base after getting a hit. He has a history of hand injuries. I don't know why he continues to slide head first with his history of hand and wrist injuries, but he is having an MRI done today. No results on that as we record this, but hopefully keep your fingers crossed. It's nothing. He'll miss a day or two, or maybe not, and he'll be back in there because he has been hot, and we'd hate to lose him as we go on. Again, I don't understand why they head first slides. It's not a necessary thing. You can slide feet first and get there just as quick. The only time you would slide head first, I would say, is into first base or back from a pickoff attempt. These guys slide head first into home plate. It just cringe every time you see it, because anything can happen there, and you know, the hands are very valuable tools to these guys. So please, Francisco, I don't know whether he knows how to slide feet first. Maybe he never learned, and that's what the deal is. I don't know, but he's got to stop the head first sliding, because especially since the hand injuries that he has suffered in his career. So we'll see what happens with him as soon as the MRI results come in. And in other news for the Mets, Francisco Lindor has gotten things back on track. He's been red hot during August so far, and he has been named the National League Player of the Week. In the 6 games last week between August 12th and the 17th, Lindor went 14 for 25 at the plate, with 3 home runs, 3 doubles, 7 RBI, and 7 runs scored. So congratulations to Francisco Lindor, having a great week, and hopefully he'll continue that and lead this Mets team to the playoffs. And the Mets designated pitcher Paul Blackburn for assignment, the club announced on Saturday, likely ending the right-hander's rocky tenure with the team. The move removes Blackburn for the club's 40-man roster, and that was to allow a space for Nolan McLean to come in. Blackburn, 31, came to the Mets at the 2024 trade deadline. He made 5 starts before landing on the IL with a bruised right hand. While he was sidelined, he was diagnosed with a spinal fluid leak in his back, which eventually required surgery and ended his season. This year, he was set to open up the season. Then he had a bout of right knee inflammation, which forced him to the IL again. An illness further delayed his comeback, keeping Blackburn out until June. When he returned, he produced a 7.71 ERA over 6 appearances before suffering a right shoulder impingement. Once again, he went on the IL and stayed there until this week, when he was called back up to the Mets and had a decent outing, pitched in long relief, but the Mets needed the room, and he was the likely candidate. So Paul Blackburn looks like he'll be gone from the Mets. So thank you for your the job that you did while you were here, but sorry. And I'm sure somebody will pick him up. He's still got a decent arm and could help a team going down the stretch. You never know. All right, let's take a break and come back right after these words.
Baseball and BBQ, your place for interesting baseball talk, opinions, and history.
Baseball and BBQ, your place for barbecue recipes, tips, and interviews from the world of barbecue. If you like baseball and if you like barbecue, then tune in to Baseball and BBQ. Find us on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, and BaseballTalkRadio.com.
And we're back, and now it's time to go down on the farm. Okay, one of my favorite parts of the show, and that is the old farm business here for the New York Mets. And big news, as some of the big names have been promoted, and they are Jet Williams, Jonah Tong, Ryan Clifford, and Carson Bange. All were promoted to Syracuse. That is a big thing. Carson Bange, especially, who has been started the year, I believe, in Brooklyn. He might have even started at St. Lucie, and is skyrocketing through the system. Clifford started at Binghamton, and now he's up. Same thing with Jet Williams, Jonah Tong, and have all been promoted now to Syracuse. So good news for Mets fans, as these guys really look good and have been doing pretty good so far in their small sample of AAA baseball at Syracuse. Jet Williams was hitting quite well. Carson Bange was out a few days, and Ryan Clifford struggled a little, but he hit a couple. His power's still there. He hit a couple of homers. And Jonah Tong, we'll talk about him in a second, but they all have been promoted, and it won't be long before we see them in Flushing. The Binghamton Rumble Ponies announced that they had that Mets number 8 prospect A.J. Ewing has been promoted from Brooklyn, along with pitchers Saul Garcia and Brandon Gerton. Ewing was tearing it up at Brooklyn. He has got 58 stolen bases this year between single A St. Lucie and high A Brooklyn. So he's really been having a terrific season. Another guy on the rise, he's with Binghamton. Poor Brooklyn. I mean, they've had like 10 of the best prospects in the system, and now they've all been promoted, which is good, which means Brooklyn's doing their job, but it hasn't been so good in the record department for Brooklyn in the second half. They've struggled because of that, but they're doing their job. Their job is to get guys ready to be promoted and not screw them up. and they've had a bunch of the top prospects, and they've all moved up. So, congrats and condolences to Brooklyn at the same time. Jet Williams, as we said, he's taken to AAA well. He was hitting quite well. He got 4 hits in his first 11 at-bats, including a double and a home run. And as I said, it seems that all the guys that were promoted have adapted well to Syracuse and aid in their playoff punch. And Jonah Tong had a dominating performance, as he has all season. He took the mound Saturday in Syracuse for the first time in his AAA career, and he tossed 90 pitches, 59 strikes across 5 2/3 innings, while allowing 3 hits and 2 walks, striking out 9 against Rochester. Now, as I said, that was Saturday night. He generated 18 swing and misses, and his fastball topped out at 98 miles per hour. All 3 hits came in different innings and had a runner reach scoring position just twice in his 5 2/3 innings. So Jonah Tong, I happened to watch that game. He was exciting to watch. It was very exciting. He was in control, first AAA start. This kid, I mean, next year you could have Sprout, Tong, McLean battling for a spot in the Mets rotation. These kids are coming fast. And, we're going to have Sanger and Peterson and Clay Holmes next year. And Manaea. That's 4 guys. I mean, we're going to have 7 or 8 pitchers. They're going to have to decide. Maybe Tong stays another year down there or part of the year, but wow, they're coming fast. I don't think we'll be picking up any cheap pitchers this off season. You never know. They might, for depth, they might pick up some more starters. And don't forget, you got Montas too. I think he's can come back, or he may have an opt out in his contract, but going to be interesting to see what happens next season as the Mets young guys are really starting to come, and this is what they had planned for. This is what they had worked for. This is what they were trying to do. They were trying to keep a flow of guys coming, and this is going to be the first wave, and then there's going to be other guys as we move along. So we'll see. Going to be great. All right, let's take a look at the standings. Syracuse is 31-14 in the second half. They slipped to second place, a 1 game behind in their division. Binghamton is 30-15. They are holding on to first place. They have a 4-game lead in their division. Brooklyn has slipped. Well, actually, they've improved a little bit. They're 20-28. They are tied for last place, or tied for next to last place. I don't know how you want to say it. They are 14 games out. St. Lucie is 33-15. They are in first place, and they have a 7-game lead in their division. So all the teams doing well. Brooklyn did well in the first half, as I said, struggled this half because of promotions. Guys left them. But they had an exciting win yesterday or 2 days ago, and so maybe they're getting it together again now with the new group. Guys come in, they have to gel. They get guys promoted from St. Lucie then to Brooklyn, and they have to gel. They have to get used to a new ballpark, a new area, a new everything to them. And these are kids, 19, 20 years old in some instances. And sometimes it's an adjustment period. And we'll see what happens with them. But not much time left in the season, but they won the first half, so they will be definitely in the playoffs, and we'll see how far they can go there. All right, as I said, the Mets versus the Washington Nationals, 3 games in our nation's capital. First day with the new mouth. And Washington's been playing better of late. And they've got a couple of young rookies that are playing well, so you got to watch out for them. They did beat the Phillies a couple of times in their last series, so got to keep an eye on those Nationals. Here's the probable pitchers, and these are subject to change. David Peterson at 7-5 with a 3.30 ERA. He'll take on Jake Irvin, 8-7 with a 5.14 ERA. Kodai Senga goes next. He is 7-4 with a 2.35 ERA. Brad Law is 3-6 with a 3.26 ERA. And Sean Manaea will wrap up the series against Mackenzie Gore, who is 5-12 with a 4.04 ERA. And Manaea, of course, is at 1-1 with a 4.78 ERA. Manaea just coming back from injury. So that is the probable pitches and for the Mets and the Nationals coming up in that series starting tomorrow night. And that's going to do it for this week's show. I hope you enjoyed it, and we may be on later in the week with another one. We'll see how things work out. But don't forget, if you're watching this on YouTube, please hit the like button and hit that subscribe button so you always know when another episode is coming out. And if you want to listen to the show, we are on all of the major podcast apps you can think of. So go check out Mets Musings wherever you are. Well, no matter what device you're on, you can get Mets Musings, Rumble, YouTube, any of that stuff. So go check it out. And in the immortal words of Billy Joel, life is a series of hellos and goodbyes. I'm afraid it's time for goodbye again, but we'll be back. So until that next visit, remember, keep the faith, stay optimistic, and let's go Mets. And I'm Gary Mack. I'll see you next time on another edition of Mets Music.